You've studied for an entire year but still couldn't get the dream rank of yours. You followed every right strategy. You have completed all the 19 subjects. You have given the GTs. You've solved all the MCQs. But still you couldn't get your dream rank. I've been getting a lot of these kind of messages, sir. We are preparing for the past 2 years but we are not able to improve our ranks. What do we do? Because I was in a similar situation too. My NEET PG 2020 rank was 1,22,000, and I understood what were my top 5 mistakes which I had to rectify to get my dream rank. And the next year, that is NEET PG 2021, my rank was 135. That is from a 6 digit to a 3 digit rank. So in this video, I'm going to reveal all my top 5 mistakes which I had made during the first time and I rectified during my NEET PG preparation. So hello everyone, I'm Dr. Adarsh, your senior, to guide you through this rough journey called NEET PG. And please watch the video till the end because the fifth mistake is the one which is going to decide whether you're going to be a topper or an average person. It's going to decide whether you'll get your dream rank this year or you need to hustle for another year. So here we go. The first mistake is studying without a clear roadmap. Tell me honestly, how does your study timetable look like? Or do you actually plan what you study for the entire day? Or you wake up in the morning and then decide, okay, today I'll study physiology. And you start watching physiology lectures, and after 2 hours, you'll think, like, okay, let me solve anatomy MCQs for today. And you get distracted, then you start reading some notes. Then at the end of the day, you'll feel like I have not done anything today. Let's start from tomorrow. And tomorrow again, the same story begins. You randomly try to complete all the syllabus, you randomly try to, watch videos. And by doing this, your mind is in complete chaos. You feel you're studying, you feel you're giving efforts. You will feel like you're studying for 8-10 hours, but you're still going nowhere. So please avoid this mistake because this exam is a game of consistency and structured learning. What I want you to do is, I want you to plan for the next day before you go to sleep. Whatever it may be, you need to have a structured timetable for the next day before you go to sleep. You need to make a to do list. Let's suppose you're watching video lectures for 3 hours and you're solving MCQs for 2 hours and you are revising some notes for 1 hour. So you make this plan before you go to sleep the previous day. You make a checklist and stick it onto your study table. And the next day when you wake up, you actually know what to do today. So you don't, go off track. So you stick to that schedule and you complete the target, whatever you have set the previous day. And continue the same for the next day as well. Before you sleep, you do another to-do list for the next day. And you need to make a realistic, doable timetable. Not like I'll study for 12 hours today or I'll study for 14 hours today, right? You need to make a plan of whatever you can achieve on that particular day. And every week, track your progress. Try completing one subject at a time and not multiple subjects if you're reading it for the first time. So that's how you fix your first problem. You need to make a proper timetable and not study randomly. You need to make your own roadmap. The second mistake you guys do is hoarding study material. You're like, let's do from marrow as well, let's study BTR as well, let's study pep ladder as well. You're actually confused, sir, what to study. Can I read from marrow? Can I read from BTR? Can I do both of them? Which will actually work? Stop it. Just stick to one source. Let's suppose you're preparing for marrow and you see a topper's interview where he said he has studied from BTR. So you go and check out BTR. Then you see another topper saying, I just studied from DAMS. So you then go and check DAMS source. You get confused what to study actually, from which source to refer. And you start watching YouTube, what sources to refer. And I have gotten messages like, sir, can we just study from BTR or can we just refer to RR videos or RR notes? Let me tell you an important aspect in preparation. You need to stick to just one source. It doesn't matter which source. You need to just stick to one and consistently read from that source itself. Now, to make you understand the importance of one single source, let's play a game. I want you to take a look at this for 5 seconds. Now, take a look at this for 5 seconds. Okay. Now, I want you to remember as much as possible from the two images you saw, because after a few minutes, I'll tell you to recall them. Keep watching the entire video so that you don't miss out the game, and understand the importance of photographic memory, which will help you get that dream rank of yours, and which will also tell you the importance of having a single source for the final revision. So that's it for the second mistake. You need to stick to a single source and trust it and study it in depth. The third mistake you guys do is ignoring the MCQs during your early days. So what do you guys do? You think, let's complete a subject and after that let's solve the MCQs. That's the biggest mistake you guys are doing. You are not practicing to apply whatever you've studied. Now let me explain this with an example. Let's suppose you want to learn suturing. So you study all the theory part about the suturing, what suture to use, how to hold the needle holder, how you need to enter it through right angle, you need to hold it at 1/3, 2/3 junction. No matter how detailed you study the procedure, until and unless you do it with your own hands, you won't be able to remember it. You'll make mistake the first time, your hands will tremble the first time, but eventually if you practice it multiple times, you'll master the suturing, right? If you study 10 times the theory part of suturing, that you need to enter it at right angles, you need to use your wrist, but until and unless you do it, you can't remember it. So this is what exactly happens with MCQs as well. Let's suppose you study a topic, until and unless you learn to apply that knowledge by solving an MCQ, whatever you've studied, you're going to forget it very soon. So what I want you to do is, if you study a topic today, or if you watch a video lecture today, let's suppose you have watched a surgery lecture on intestinal obstruction. Now what I want you to do, I want you to go and solve the MCQ module of intestinal obstruction on the same day. Even if not immediately, after a gap of 3-4 hours is also fine. Because when you solve the MCQ module the same day, you learn to apply whatever you have learned, which is the most important aspect in solving the MCQ. And this skill of applying your knowledge in solving the MCQs is what's gonna get you that dream rank of yours. Because believe me, if you are not able to apply whatever you have learned, it's a waste of time. And this is the most common mistake you guys are doing. You think you have studied a topic, you think you have understood it, but when it comes to applying that knowledge in solving an MCQ, you fall short. You get the MCQ wrong, and all kind of negative thoughts start coming to your brain. That even after studying, I couldn't solve a simple MCQ. Even after multiple revision, my GT score is not improving because you are making this mistake. So I want you to start applying your knowledge from day one itself. So that was your third mistake. Please don't keep MCQs at the end. The fourth mistake you guys do is not having a proper revision plan. Because what happens during the final exam, what happens during NEET PG is you won't be able to remember even the simplest of detail due to the stress, due to the pressure of the exam. And only those are gonna get their dream rank who has the ability to recall everything even under immense pressure. You might have noticed you can't remember when you are in the exam hall, but when you come out of the exam hall, you suddenly remember it. Oh shit, this was the answer. Why did I mark it wrong in the exam? Because when you are calm enough, you start remembering things. But when you are in a pressure situation, you end up making silly mistakes. So how do you tackle this problem? How do you make a proper revision plan? For this, I want you to watch my previous video on how to practice active recall and photographic memory to make your revisions properly. And how to actually do the revision. Because once you complete a subject, you ignore it completely and you start to focus on the second subject. And a month later, when you try to revise or when you try to go through the already completed subjects, you feel like everything is feeling new to me. Why am I not able to remember this? I had already studied this. So then you feel like everything was a waste of time. Even though you have studied, still you are not able to remember all your precious months of preparing, say months of your first reading. Everything feels like a waste. So what I want you to do is, I want you to keep at least dedicated 1 hour daily to revise your previously completed subjects. You don't have to read the entire thing, you just have to go through your notes, that's it. You just have to go through the volatile topics, or you just need to revise a simple concept. If you do that, you are strengthening your already completed subjects. You are already doing a revision side by side, completing your first reading. And your first revision will actually feel easier if you practice this, because you have already gone through your notes, right? And it will feel like, yes, I know this. And so you quickly go through during your first revision. You remember our game? Take a look at this again for 5 seconds. Okay, now let's continue the video. So that's it for your fourth mistake. You need to have a proper revision plan. It's absolutely fine if you take 6.5 to 7 months to complete your first reading. But during your first reading as well, you need to keep a touch of your completed subjects so that you can complete your first revision in 2.5 to 3 months. And after you complete your first revision, depending on how much time is left for the exam, you can plan 1 or 2 more revisions to have that edge over the others in the competition. And remember, do not change your source while revising. Let's suppose you have read from the main notes. I don't want you to switch to something else. I don't want you to switch to rapid revision notes, or I don't want you to switch to BTR for revision. You use it as a roadmap, definitely, but I want you to revise from the main notes itself, the notes which you have been studying for the past 6 months. Because let me tell you the importance of it. Remember again, now I want you to recall whatever I had told you to go through. Close your eyes and try to recall as many names you can remember. So from where did you actually recall them? Was it from the handwritten notes or was it from the textbook? I'm definitely sure you have recalled it from the handwritten notes, right? Because you saw it two times. That's the first thing which came to your mind when you closed your eyes. This is exactly what I want you to understand. The more you see your own notes, or the more you see a single source, the more easier it is to recall in the exam. And if you keep changing your source, your mind will get confused. From where do I recall actually? And you end up recalling something else and you end up making the silly mistake. So you need to stick to one single source. It doesn't matter if it's your handwritten notes or if it's a printed notes, but stick to that notes only for revision. Because when you go through it multiple times, it creates a photographic memory. It creates a stronger photographic memory in your brain, and you can actually recall it well even in a pressure situation. You have actually tried it yourself while playing the game, right? I showed you the handwritten notes two times, but the printed notes only one time, and you were able to actually remember the things from notes because you have seen it twice. So that's the power of revision, and that's the power of sticking to one notes. And now coming to the most dangerous mistake you guys do, it's ignoring your health and your mindset. Because believe me, no matter what strategy you have gone through, how many revisions you have done, no matter how perfectly you have gone through the MCQs, but if you do not take care of your health and if you don't take care of your mindset, your entire preparation journey is going to be a waste. So let me give you an example. Let's suppose you have watched a very powerful motivational video and you make up your mindset that yes, I'm going to study for 12 hours from tomorrow and I'll be the one to get the top rank. And you are not a morning person, you don't like waking up early. But since you have made up your mindset, you wake up at 5 a.m. the next day and you study continuously for the entire day and you actually complete the 12 hours on day one. But what happens on day two? You still wake up at 5 a.m., but while studying, you're not able to concentrate, you're dozing off. So, what's the use of studying like this? What's the use of compromising your sleep and studying? Because it's a waste of time, you are not getting anything from it. So, don't compromise your sleep, don't compromise your food habits, and don't compromise your exercise just for the sake of studying. Because I have seen many of them just sitting on their desk and surviving on coffee and chips and not actually having any food. This unhealthy habit of yours will not let you stay consistent. You won't be able to study for the entire 6 months with the same consistency. You'll feel burnout very soon. You'll feel like giving up very soon if you don't prioritize your health while studying. It's absolutely fine if you start studying from 6 hours per day. You can slowly increase this time. You can slowly gain the momentum. It's absolutely fine if you take 15 days to complete your first subject, or if you take even 1 month to complete your first subject. You'll eventually pick up pace. You don't have to be restless to complete all the 19 subjects. Because what actually matters is not how many hours you have studied, but how much do you actually retain whatever you have studied. So even if you have studied 2 hours for today, but if you actually have remembered those 2 hours properly, then those 2 hours of yours is equivalent to someone else's 10 hours who has just gone through his notes and hasn't remembered anything actually. So make sure to focus on quality more than quantity. The same goes to your mindset as well, because you guys want success without getting the hard work done. You guys keep messaging me, sir, just is just going through revision notes enough, or is just going through BTR enough, or do I have to go through main notes because it's very vast? I don't think I'll be able to complete that. You've already made up your mind, I won't be able to complete that, then how is it possible? So you have to go through that hustle of reading the entire 19 subjects, understanding the entire 19 subjects. You have to give at least 6 months of dedicated time to get your dream rank, because this exam has no shortcuts and it doesn't reward people going through shortcuts. You definitely might have heard someone that they have cracked a NEET PG in their internship itself. They just gone through BTR and they have cracked internship. So you also get this mindset key. If he has done, why can't I? Let me just go through BTR and give this attempt. But you end up getting rank in 6 digit numbers. Then you start thinking less about yourself, that maybe I can't. because each and every one of you is different, because that person has hustled through his UG days. He has gone through all the standard textbooks, he has attended his clinical postings regularly, and he has made his notes during his UG days itself. But maybe you are not like that. You have just passed the MBBS by studying few days before the exam, and you don't actually have that conceptual knowledge. Make up your mindset to build the conceptual knowledge first, and only then are you gonna get that dream rank of yours. And if you are weak with the concepts, no matter how many times you read the revision notes, it doesn't even matter if you read the revision notes 10 times for an entire year. I'm sorry, my friend, you're not gonna get that rank of yours because you are not able to apply whatever you have studied. You don't have the conceptual knowledge, because the exam pattern now does not test your memory. It tests your concepts, it tests your clinical knowledge. How well can you apply whatever you have learned? How well can you integrate 2 3 subjects? And if you have just gone through the revision notes, or if you have just gone through BTR without understanding the concepts, you won't be able to solve the MCQ. So please make an effort to learn the concepts. Please make an effort to understand the subject, because going through shortcuts will not give you that success. So avoiding these 5 mistakes will put you miles ahead of the average crowd which is running this race of NEET PG. And please mention in the comments which mistake are you gonna rectify which you are doing till now. So share this video to your friend who is also preparing for NEET PG if you found this video helpful. And don't forget to subscribe, because a lot of interesting videos are on its way. And please don't forget to watch my previous video where I've explained protein synthesis inhibitors and in simple language, and how do you actually revise and recall a volatile topic so that you don't have to go through multiple revisions. That's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching.